Hello, hi, gigpreneur. What is going on? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. My name is Sean Azimi, and I am your ex corporate grinder. That's true. That's very true. Yeah, I used to be in the call center corporate world for many years, putting in 12, 14, 16-hour days, 6 days a week, often 7 days a week, until my pancreas quit. Es todo para llevar. Stopped and said, no more, and left me unemployable, which means with the condition I have, I can't even um, get a job. And then I had nothing to fall back on either. So it kind of sucked. So now I got redirected to this whole online space, this gig economy, and I help folks like you, like me, to start a side gig online. And we grow it using social media. If that resonates with you and you like the idea of having another source of income that you can work on, and you like the fact that it's flexible, um, then let's go. Drop the word side gig in the comments and let's go. And I'll hit you up right after this. And let's just have that conversation. So, what is happening, folks? Let me share a couple thoughts with you. I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine. And I was having a really good conversation with a friend of mine. And one thing she mentioned is something that I have heard so many times, and I have been guilty of saying it myself. I have been guilty of practicing it myself. Shaiva John, how are you? I see you on Instagram, and I'm guilty of it. And I never really thought about it this way, but I did now. So, gotta share it with you because I think it's very powerful. You know, many people are doing things on the side. They have some kind of a side gig. So many people that said, never, ever, I'll do something like that. They're doing something just like that. And they're involved in some kind of an affiliate program, network marketing program. So there's many people that are doing something like that. Now, um, it takes a little bit of an investment to start one, just like any other business. And here's a thought about that. If this business required no money to start, then how would they pay people, right? So people got to get paid. So somehow there's got to be a revolving situation with the money, right? So anyway, there is a little bit of an investment to start this type of a business, right? Side gig. And let's say it's $200, $500, $1,000, $5,000, whatever it is. And let me tell you this as well, that it is 100% tax deductible. Now, tax deductible, for those of you who don't know what that is, that means you actually, at the end of the year, you have a certain amount of income. It's what you've made that year. Based on what you have made and what bracket you fall under, you pay back to the government a certain percentage of that in taxes, right? Now, if it's tax write-off, that certain amount of earnings at the end of the year, you get to deduct what's tax deductible, which means you don't pay tax on it. So if you have business expenses, you get to deduct that from your total income, total earnings, and you pay less taxes and you keep more of your money. Really good idea. So, when you do start a business like this, um, usually it takes a little bit of an investment. Like I said, 200, 500,000. I've even heard as high as 10,000. So, what do you do when you don't have that $200, but you really want you really want to take a crack at it? You really want to do something, change something. Obviously, if $200 is not accessible, and I know those times, I'm very, very, very familiar with those times. I am no stranger to that. Um, and I'll share that with you in a second. But hey, what do you do, right? What do you do when you want to kind of change things to have that $200 in your pocket, or to change your financial status? Well, when you don't have the $200, here's what happens. People come up to you and ask you, "Hey, do you want to watch this video? Do you want some information on the company? Do you have any questions about anything at all?" And when you respond back saying, "Well, I don't have the money to start." True, you don't have the money to start. Here's what you should do. I highly recommend you do this. If you see this as a way to save you, if you see this as a way for you to make some money, if you see this as a way that would help you get out of your funk, then this is what I would do. In the meantime, in between time, for you to come up with the money, this is what I would do. I would learn about the company. Semina, namaste, namaste, how are you? I would learn about the company. I would learn about their products. I would learn about their pay structure. I would maybe get on a couple of their Zooms, a couple of their trainings if you can. If you're considering two companies, I would look at both companies, both products, look at some of the reviews, look at how long the company been around, what markets are they available in, are they international, right? So there's plenty of things for you to do if you really were serious about starting a business online, yeah, and actually treating it like a business and actually growing it. There are things you can do while you wait for the money to roll in, right? Maybe you sell something. Maybe you use a credit card and then you sell something, and maybe you borrow from somebody. Maybe I don't know, maybe you have PayPal credit, whatever, right? So, meanwhile, it is not a good idea for you to just sit on the benches and not do a thing and not do your homework. Imagine if you actually knew about the products a little bit, knew about how they pay a little bit, you know about their company, their culture, just a little bit. You're not going to be like a superstar, know everything, but imagine if you knew a little bit and then you got the more money and you started, you would be that much ahead of anybody else. Instead of saying, "Well, I don't have the 200 to start. I don't have the 500 to start. I don't have the 1,000 to start," then this is a perfect time to learn more about the brand, the company, the products, the pay plan, the culture, the structure. And like I said, if you're considering two, three different companies, why not take a look at all those three, four, five companies? Glow, glow, what's up? I see you. So, you know, I appreciate the fact that um, People don't have the money to start the business. I get it. I totally get it. Look, when I started, and this is not too long ago, when I started with the company I'm with, I had I had 34 cents to my name. And I took a chance, right? I said, at least I gotta make my money back the first month. That was my first goal. I didn't want to get rich in the first month. I said, you know what? Whatever I put in, I want to get that back this month in the next 30 days. You know, an amazing thing was thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I definitely follow back. Um, and it worked out, right? Actually made 3 times the money I got in with within the first month. So I was very, very cool with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Right? So if you're considering a company, you don't have the money to start, this is a good time to study the company. Don't waste this time. Okay? Because here's one of two things that could happen. At the end of you do a little bit of research, you look here, you look there, you look at the products, company, culture, pay plan, and you're like, you know what? I hate this thing. I'm not even in this thing. I hate it. Thank you for the follow. I'll be sure to follow back. Right? But who knows? You may get even more excited, right? So don't waste this time sitting on the sideline. Do your homework, study a little bit, read their products, go to their website, kind of, scroll around, check it out, and equip yourself, if you would. So, with that, hopefully, you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. I appreciate you. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. And I always come back and check the comments no matter what platform you are watching on: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Let's go. And I know you know somebody. I know you know somebody who would get value from watching this. Tag them to this, share this with them. Let's go. And if you're new to my lives, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, hopefully it won't be your last time. If you just started following me, I'll follow back for sure. And yeah, with that, I am Sean Zimi. I am your ex-corporate grinder. I used to work in a call center corporate world for a mighty long time, many, many years, putting in 12, 14, 16-hour days, 6 days a week, often 7 days a week, until my pancreas quit, shut down, left me unemployable, and nothing to fall back on. I tell you what, that kind of sucked. And so I got redirected to this whole online space, this gig economy, and I help folks like you, like me, to start a side gig online. And we grow it using social media. If that resonates with you, if you like the idea of having some extra money come in from an extra source of income, you like it to be flexible, um, yeah, then drop the word side gig in the comments, and I'll get back with you after this live, and let's be ready to have that conversation. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.